Coming up on First at 4, students in one Eastern Kentucky school system returned to classes for the first time since the historic flooding. Plus, President Biden says the U.S. would step in if there was an unprecedented Chinese attack on Taiwan. We'll have more from his interview with 60 Minutes.
Plus, warm air continues, but we'll also keep an eye on the return of moisture to the mountains. The latest on if showers are back soon coming up as Mountain News First at 4 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, Knott County students are back in the classroom for their first day of school following the historic flooding that heavily damaged several schools across the district. WYMT's Alyssa Williams was at Heineman Elementary School to capture the excitement of students, faculty, and staff on their first day back.
The sun is beaming bright over the mountains today, shining on a school that has experienced so much darkness in the last 2 months. Early this morning, Heineman Elementary students shuffled through the doors, greeted by eager educators. But this is a day many of them were unsure would happen after the school was ravaged by floodwaters in late July.
You can just see a sense of relief in the kids and talking to them and watching them interact with their peers. So it's been very heartwarming.
Some of the teachers tell me after hours of blood, sweat, tears, and an outpouring of community support, Heineman Elementary was able to open its doors today, hoping to offer a sense of normalcy to the young minds of the community. In Knott County, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Well, thank you, Alyssa. Heineman Elementary School Principal Brandy Sims says their main goal for the students this school year is to learn, grow, and to build memories that will last a lifetime. We'll have more on the first day tonight at 6. Governor Andy Beshear is back in the mountains today announcing new developments for some old projects. WYMT's Buddy Forbes is live at the Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg with more on that. Buddy.
Yes, Steve, after hearing about some of those hard hits that the region has seen recently, Governor Andy Beshear said it was nice to be here at the Mountain Arts Center stage to discuss some good news. Money for one project and movement for another, starting with a more than $4.1 million funding announcement for the Dawkins Line Rail Trail project in Magoffin and Johnson counties, and ending with a formal announcement for the final leg of the Mountain Parkway expansion, connecting Prestonsburg and Salyersville, a project that is nearly 60 years in the making.
So what we're really seeing is an evolution. 4 lanes have been needed and are needed. But listen, it's expensive. But we have the commitment to Eastern Kentucky that they deserve a big project just like other parts.
The governor says both of these projects are about creating a better Eastern Kentucky, driving the region toward the future it deserves without a lot of inconvenience for the people here. In Prestonsburg, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
All right, Buddy, thank you very much. We'll have more about the projects coming up at 6 o'clock, which officials say are helping to create a lifeline for Eastern Kentucky.
Well, we're continuing to see sunshine around the mountains this afternoon, but some of us could see a return to some showers as we head later on into tonight. Here's a look right now from our camera at the University of Virginia's College at Wise. 73 the current reading with just some fair weather clouds out there and blue skies otherwise. A look outside at Pinpoint Doppler shows a clean sweep all around the mountains. Nothing much doing in terms of any kind of rainfall. You got to go up into portions of southern Ohio before you run into any showers or even, well, mostly just showers. No thunderstorms to be seen at all as we put it into motion. We'll continue, though, to see a little weak boundary off to the north, perhaps give us a chance for a few showers. Ahead of it, it's warm. Low to mid 80s outside right now. How about Irvin checking in at 86, the warmest temperature around the region. Middle and upper 60s for dew points, so we are back into the muggy air as we head through tonight. So keep that WYMT First Alert weather app handy. You look at it, the day planner, 82 tonight, falling through the 70s, but only into the 60s as we head through tonight. I've got details on when some much nicer weather works in coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. While the Kentucky Wildcats remain undefeated on the football field and ranked in the top 10, a few tensions are growing within the program. WYMT's Courtney Lane Brewer has more on what could be a problem for Mark Stoops' squad. Courtney.
That's right, Steve. More details have been made public about a potential NCAA violation involving the Kentucky football team. A copy of a reinstatement request the program had sent to the NCAA was made public on Saturday, admitting that players had been forging timesheets at UK Hospital, seen on security footage clocking in, leaving, and returning to clock out. Sources told our sister station WKYT that players may have been clocked in during games. The names of the player or players that the university was asking to reinstate were redacted from the copy made to the public. This all comes to light among the reinstatement of Jordan Wright and Chris Rodriguez. This is a developing story, especially as the Cats prepare for this week's contest against Northern Illinois. We'll have more information as it becomes available, but for now, back to you, Steve.
All right, Courtney, thank you. Well, the United Kingdom and the world are saying a final farewell to a monarch and an icon. Thousands attended the state funeral at Westminster Abbey for Queen Elizabeth II, where they mourned the loss but also celebrated her 70-year reign. The coffin of Queen Elizabeth then left Westminster Abbey for a funeral procession through the streets of London, her son King Charles walking behind with the royal family. The pageantry drew dignitaries from around the world.
We come to this house of God, here where Queen Elizabeth was married and crowned, to mourn our loss, to remember her long life of selfless service.
Across the UK, crowds flocked to parks to watch on big screens. Some stood in tribute, others wiped away tears. A hearse drove the Queen's coffin to Windsor Castle for another service before her private burial at St. George's Chapel next to her late husband, Prince Philip. President Biden sat down for an interview to kick off the new season of 60 Minutes last night. The discussion made news on a number of fronts, including the fact that President Biden said the COVID pandemic is now over. But it was a comment about foreign policy that's raised the most eyebrows. CBS's Skylar Henry has more on that from the White House.
They're going to be in a situation where
President Biden appeared to change U.S. foreign policy towards Taiwan during an interview with Scott Pelley on 60 Minutes. The official policy is that the U.S. recognizes Taiwan as a part of China, but remains silent on whether the U.S. military would defend the democratic government there.
There's a one China policy, and Taiwan makes their own judgments about their independence. We are not moving, we're not encouraging their being independent. That's their decision.
But would U.S. forces defend the island?
Yes, if in fact there was an unprecedented attack.
The White House later said the official policy remains the same. But China's foreign ministry spokesperson denounced the interview, saying the Chinese side expresses strong dissatisfaction and firm opposition and has lodged stern representations with the U.S. side. China has conducted military exercises in the Strait of Taiwan throughout the summer. The wide-ranging interview also delved into a number of issues the president is dealing with at home.
It's the highest inflation rate, Mr. President, in 40 years.
I got that, but guess what we are? We're in a position where for the last several months it hasn't spiked. It is just barely, it's been basically even.
Former President Trump slammed the president's economic policies during a rally in Ohio this weekend.
We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in 50 years, and where the stock market finished the worst first half of the year since 1872.
While a rematch between Trump and Biden remains a strong possibility, the president refused to say if he would run again in 2024. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Now, the president said it is his intention to run again for president, but that a firm decision remains to be seen. So he's leaving some wiggle room there, apparently. Well, Senate Republicans want a new focus on a federal investigation of President Biden's son, Hunter. More than 30 GOP lawmakers, including Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, sent the U.S. Attorney General a letter asking the Justice Department to appoint a special counsel to look into Hunter Biden's business dealings. U.S. Attorney David Weiss has been leading a federal investigation into Hunter Biden since 2018 after his appointment by then-President Donald Trump. The letter came as House Republicans prepare for a committee vote on a resolution pressuring the White House to release documents related to the Biden family's overseas business deals. They say they want information into deals that took place before, during, and after President Biden's time in public office. The United States and the Taliban exchanged prisoners today. Mark Frericks from Illinois was kidnapped in January 2020. The Navy veteran was in Afghanistan at the time doing contract work. He disappeared weeks before the U.S. and the Taliban signed a peace deal. Authorities believe he was taken by the Haqqani network, which has links to the Taliban. President Joe Biden called Frerick's sister to let her know her brother is on his way back to the U.S. The Taliban received Haj Mohammed Beshear, who was held in U.S. custody on drug charges. Coming up on First at 4, Hurricane Fiona rips through the island of Puerto Rico.
We'll have an update on where Fiona is now, and conditions closer to home look to stay warm and humid this week. I've got the latest on if this means a return to showers and storms as well on the way.
There is no